accelerated, populated mostly by armed colonialists from Europe and the United States, and connected by a network of roads which only settlers are allowed to use. The economy of the West Bank has never been allowed to recover. A large proportion of the few Palestinians who do have a regular income are dependent on the Palestinian Authority, which in turn is dependent on meeting the demands of Israel and its imperialist backers, policing resistance in exchange for crumbs from the master's table. And yet the Palestinian people continue to resist. They refuse to be subdued by the barbaric and continued attacks of the Israeli state. We're here today in solidarity with the people of Palestine. We're asking you to boycott all Israeli goods, to boycott companies like Marks and Spencer, which support Israel. Marks and Spencer supports Israel with around £240 million every year in trade. And more than that, Marks and Spencer lobbies on Israel's behalf in the British Israel Chamber of Commerce. We're here today to say, free, free!
Palestine!
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 No justice, no peace!
Hands off the Middle East!
No justice, no peace!
Hands off the Middle East!
No justice, no peace!
Hands off the Middle East!
Boycott!
M&S!
They support!
Terrorists!
Boycott!
M&S!
They support!
Terrorists!
Boycott!
M&S!
They support!
Terrorists!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Victory 2!
The Intifada!
Victory 2!
The Intifada!
Victory 2!
The Intifada!
Victory 2!
The Intifada! For more than 60 years, the Palestinian people have seen their land stolen from them, their olive groves ransacked, their children killed, their men in prison, their women raped and beaten, their people massacred and their country occupied by Israel. In the last week, attacks on Gaza have deepened. After last year's 22-day barbaric onslaught on Gaza by Israel, in which they killed over 1,400 people and left over 5,000 wounded, they have left masses of destruction. They have left people without access to water, without access to food, schools and hospitals. People living homeless on the streets because their homes have been destroyed. And they're continuing, despite it not being seen on the news, they're continuing their attacks on Gaza. An incursion last weekend by several Israeli tanks left 2 Palestinian fighters dead. An attack on a protest at the blockaded Gaza border on Tuesday left a Palestinian teenager dead and several wounded. Israel is continuing its attacks on Palestine, and every week it is continuing its occupation of Palestinian land. A recent call by the Popular Committee of Berlin in Palestine said that because the blockade of Gaza continues every week, because the occupation of Palestine continues every week, then the resistance must be continuous and it must continue every week. So we're here every Thursday to picket Marks and Spencer because they're the biggest British corporate sponsor of Israel. We're here to take up the call by the Palestinian people to isolate Israel through boycott, divestment and sanctions against the racist Israeli state. Our message is clear. The occupation of Palestine must end. We're here to stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people who are fighting back against the occupation of their land, against the massacre in Gaza, against the blockade around Gaza. An open-air prison in which people are living homeless, destitute, in which people cannot live without constant fear of being killed by the Israeli state. Because Israel has the full support of the British government and British companies like Marks and Spencer's. And because of this, they're able to massacre the Palestinian people. They're able to act with complete impunity on the international stage, but that cannot continue. We need a movement to isolate Israel, because Israel is massacring the Palestinian people. Israel is a racist state. We see week on week. We hear stories week on week from Palestine of Palestinians being evicted from their homes to make way for new Israeli-only settlements. People getting left out on the streets because Israel doesn't see the Palestinian people's lives as mattering. Marks and Spencer's supports Israel, not only financially, it doesn't only trade with it for profit, it supports it politically, it supports the Zionist regime of Israel, a racist regime which is based on the idea that only that each race should have its own exclusive land. And this is a completely racist ideology. And in the name of this ideology, the Israeli people, the Israeli government are massacring the Palestinian people. And Marks and Spencer supports this. As early as the 1940s, they openly advocated the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people.
Your head start to get very pissy when you film inside the store. I've actually filmed inside the fucking store, well, actually inside